Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Pokemon. Ba 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 ba. Pokemons. Ooh. Oh yeah. We had not made it far, had we? Okay. So we are headed into Mount Moon. Wow. All of 2 seconds, huh? Get him, Pikachu. Yeah, I was afraid it's going to be the can't escape. There we go. Let me fight him. Hopefully that'll raise up Magikarp's level. Then we can get away with not running into a ton of level 80 Zubat that we can't run from. Tis my hope. I am going to move some stuff around. There we go. Goodbye, Weedle. The funny thing is, we could probably defeat Kakuna and Metapod with Magikarp if Magikarp had attacks. Those are going to come in quite handy. I find that paralysis is probably the most used status element in all of Pokemon. You would think it would be sleep or poison. No, it's paralysis. Freeze and burn are probably the least two. Oh shit, you know what? Until Magikarp evolves, I don't have a counter to ground or rock types. Metaclaudius. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a lot. I'll catch another one later, or I'll catch one later. I'm less focused on the Pokedex at the moment in FireRed. I'm more focused on raising my Pokemon. However, I do stress, however, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, yeah, we should probably focus on the Pokedex too. Because we want to really have that, we really want to have the full experience of the game. So, we should probably do that. Let's switch to Pidge. That way it can't infatuate Pidgey. Oh, God. Gonna be a little grindy today, I can tell you that right now. The more Pokemon that you take on this early on in the game, it can be difficult and grindy. Like if you were just sticking with your starter, maybe one other Pokemon, you could probably breeze through these sections, but really take it slow and it's not gonna let me move them while I'm in a battle. Interesting. You can rearrange items, but I guess not while in battle. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I guess we'll try and catch whatever we run into. Paris! So in Mount Moon we can get Paris, Geodude, Zubat, and Clefairy. Oh, I need to buy some Pokeballs. Oh, snap. I did not realize I didn't have that many. Growing out of the bug's back are mushrooms called Tochukatsu. The mushrooms grow with the bug host. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's go back and buy some Pokeballs. Right after we catch this Zubat. Mr. Zubat. I almost pressed all the buttons again. That would have reset the game. We had a relapse from the other day. Quick attack. Hell yeah. Alright, Jazz Hands. You got this. Today I have to do some work on the back end of Twitch. It's been a while since I dug around in the back on the back side of things. Probably need to change some settings and do all that later. It has no eyes. Instead, it relies on its ultrasonic cries for echolocation. Flit about in the darkness. Flitter about. Do you flit? Come on, it's a serious question. Do you flit? Lord, I have to go all the way back to Pewter City. That's worth it. Since I can't trade with myself with the with Leaf Green being on my Switch 1 OLED edition back there, I can trade between the two for evolutions or finishing the Pokedex. The thing is, I'm gonna have to play through Leaf Green twice in order to get Entei. I am. So the way they did it is I can go ahead and get all 3 birds in one save file, but I can't get the 3 dogs. Raikou for Squirtle, Suicune for Charmander, and Entei for Bulbasaur. So your starter will decide which one roams the countryside. 6? That's all I can afford? The hell? As much as I don't want to sell these, fuck my life, I guess. I guess Premier Balls weren't a thing yet. I think that was the DS era. If I'm remembering correctly. Correctly. Ba 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 ba. Now I ran all the way back. I'm hoping that the audio levels are just right. They sounded great the other day when I listened back to the VOD. The video on demand. Chill, dude. I can't directly paralyze you, but if you touch Pikachu, you can become paralyzed. Okay, ear. Come on. Jeebus. That ear is rough today. I'm done using Q-tips though. Like I'm also done falling asleep to, you know. I used to like to put rain sounds on or something to fall asleep to, but I'm not doing that anymore. When I go to bed at night, I shut down the whole everything. I shut down the whole computer, the TV monitor, everything gets shut off. And then I roll over and go to sleep. Like a normal person. Bada beep, bada boop. It's round. From its round form makes it easy to pick up. Some people have used them to hurl at each other in a snowball fight. Really? We had the rest of the dex entries for them because we traded with Leaf Green. Take a look. The face cam's in the way, I can't see. Be careful while hiking on mountain trails. Graveler may come rolling down the path without slowing. It is enclosed in a hard shell that is rugged as slabs of rock. It sheds skin once a year to grow larger. Ooh, boy, howdy. Him's a big boy. Bump, 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 bump. No. I'm not interested in running into any more Zubat. This is when I'm going to wish we had Repel. but it was either repel or Pokeballs. I chose the latter. We, Team Rocket, are Pokemon gangsters. It's like fair, you see, with our strength, you see. A whippersnapper like you should really be a Team Rocket and stay out of our way. I don't know which Pokemon game over the years had the most caves, but we have Diglett's Cave, Mount Moon, Seafoam Islands, Rock Tunnel. I think on the Sevi Islands there might be some caves. The Kanto region might be the caviest. I don't know. Like Hoenn got made fun of by IGN for having too much water. That was the stupidest thing. I'm sorry. IGN is just the biggest joke in the world. The funny thing is, it became such a meme over the years that recently they I think IGN posted something on social media when the Winds and Wave trailer came out, kind of, you know, paying homage to that joke of old. This isn't working. Metal Claw just isn't strong enough. That'll do it though. Ugh. 14, 12, 13. We'll go Pidge. Help me, Pidge. I do need to run some tests before we leave this weekend, though. I need to see if the old laptop can run Streamlabs well enough to do a stream. So you'll probably see me testing that sometime in the next day or two. Because I would very much like to take my streaming equipment, because here's the thing. Is it a vacation? Yeah. It's a vacation just from life, though. It's not a vacation from work. I say work. This is hardly work. But I think you get what I mean. I will have some downtime. We're going to be there a week. Bum, 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 ba-da-lum, ba-ba-da-lum, ba-ba-da-lum, ba-ba-da-lum. So, it would be nice to have something to do at night, you know, when we're settled in for the day. Bum, 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 bum. How dare you? Get him, Jazz Hands. Bum, 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 bum. Mount Moon is a little different between games too. It's the same between Red and Blue and then FireRed and Leaf Green, but its appearance in Gen 2 is drastically different. It's not a full-on cave system you can explore. They kind of streamlined it to where you go in and out very quickly, and there's actually like a base camp you can go to. There's like a building and Mount Moon Square, which is like you can see Clefairy dancing there on the night of the full moon. Oh no! They'll sneak up on you. Sir, you came to me with your high water britches. Voltorb, eh? Mod, eh? I forgot to switch to Magikarp. That'll be right. Somebody's powering up. I should have stuck to Ember. Stick to what works. Give me this item. Do do boo do. Bum boop bop boop boop bop boop boop. The thing is, Charmander and Pidgey both have the advantage over bug types. But Pidgey needs to level up, so we'll go with Pidgey. We still only have 3 moves for Pidgey. It should learn Quick Attack soon, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Metapod. Too bad I still don't have any attacks. Magikarp will eventually learn Tackle. I want to say at level 15 it learns Tackle. It still can't learn any TMs though. No TMs and no HMs for Magikarp. I don't know if Magikarp's the only Pokemon that doesn't learn via TM. There might be 1 or 2 others, but primarily Magikarp's the first that comes to my mind. We're over 1,000 Pokemon now, so it's like hard to remember. Honestly, I've played every Pokemon game religiously, even the new ones. Still couldn't tell you every Pokemon's name by looking at them. We've reached that point now. I would say from Sword and Shield forward, you're probably going to start losing me on some pronunciations, some flat out remembering their names. Just It's gonna end up being a little murky for me, unfortunately. I mean, can you blame me though? Over 1,000. I mean, I want to say this game had 386. I want to say Deoxys is 386. Arceus, or Arceus, however you pronounce it, is 493. And then by the time you get to black and white, you're in the 500s. So you're halfway there. There's an item down here. It's a rare candy. Do, 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 do. I'm still sitting here wanting to push all the buttons. It's hard not to do when you're a fidgety person. Bump, bump, bump. Come on, just let me have the item. We're still close enough to the entrance of the cave that I can go back and heal before we get too far in. It's honestly not that long of a cave. It just feels long because your Pokemon are so low leveled. So every wild encounter, every trainer battle seems like a grindy mess. But it's honestly kind of a shorter, one of the shorter caves that we'll traverse. So ow! I did not mean to go in there. Let me out. You know what, actually, I'm saving all the rare candy that I find in Leaf Green, but I'll burn through them in Fire Red because we have work to do here. I still haven't decided on who our final team is going to be. I haven't even decided who our current team is going to be. Wait, am I doing this? I am doing this the hard way. Just in case I screw up the buttons. I'm doing pretty well with remembering, thankfully. But just in case. Boo, 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 boo. Not you again. Zubat and Seabass from Animal Crossing. Name a more annoying duo. Nobby, maybe? Rocks into fossils? Good to know. Brock the Rock. We just wait on her to come back around. It is a very large cave, space-wise. Why does Streamlabs keep glitching today? That's annoying. Get him, Pidge. These grass Pokemon stand 0 chances. We did learn Quick Attack. I was right. Blah, blah. Bye. Ooh, 1 step away. No. More Team Rocket. Well, I don't think so. Not that they're that threatening to begin with. Team Rocket's kind of a big joke. Although each one of the organizations across the Pokemon franchise, they've all kind of been doofy. The Grunts really don't have any strong Pokemon to speak of. They all have low-level starter stuff. Zubat is paralyzed with no eyes. You have no eyes, sir. You know what I forgot to do today? You know what I forgot to do today? You know what I forgot to do today? I forgot to turn on my... I forgot to change the color of my cam border. I just realized that. It'll be alright. Oh no, who's poisoned? I'm going to be happy to get away from you. Charmander. You poisoned my Charmander? Charmander. Right, I just have Thief. Okay. I don't have any repel on me. My nose is so itchy today. Quit being itchy. Rattata. Rattatletail. The anime was a whole different monster back in the day compared to what it is now. I want to say the guy who was working on it had substance abuse problems. I think it was alcohol. May have been something else. So a lot of wild, kooky stuff ended up in that first season of Pokemon, the Kanto part. Stuff that they would never do or try to get away with today. It was just like you ever heard people say cocaine-fueled nightmare? That's kind of what the original anime was. One second, I'm getting a text. Max. But I watched a video not too long ago that really did a deep dive into the original Kanto segment, the Indigo League segment. And they talked about how the anime, they never intended for the anime to really go past that first initial run, you know? It certainly didn't mean for it to go 20 or 30 years. So they kind of originally wanted Ash to kind of just grow and his Pokemon, you know, to kind of evolve towards the closer you got towards the Pokemon League. And maybe he would have won, I don't know. But in an effort to keep the show going, because Pokemon had become such a hit globally, they kind of neutered Ash, pulled it back a bit, toned it down, made it more palatable for everyone. Because that first season, they didn't care about Western audiences. They didn't even know if the show would air outside of Japan. So there's so many Japanese influences in that first season, and I think it really gave the show some heart and soul. Because too many times you see something that's like an international brand or whatever, they'll try their best to make sure that, well, is it going to be, is it going to be good for this market or this market or this market? We have to worry about the sensibilities and social norms of every market. You have to try to make it as G-rated or PG-rated as possible so it can be global. But since they didn't think the anime was going to air outside of Japan, you didn't have to worry about any of that. You can make it as Japanese as you wanted. And that first season was very Japanese. And I think that added a lot of charm to it that later seasons just did not have. And there's the infamous rice cake jelly donut English dub translation error. I guess they figured kids wouldn't understand what a rice ball was. Kids are not as stupid as, kids are stupid, but they're not as stupid as you make them out to be. You didn't have to change it to jelly donut. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. That first season of the anime was magic. It's kind of one of those you had to be there kind of deals. Because you look like if you were to watch it for the first time now, it probably wouldn't hit the same as it did back then. We're so close to Charmander evolving. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I watched the whole first series of the anime. I watched a little bit into the Johto journeys and then kind of lost track of it and stopped watching. And then subsequent seasons I just never got into. I saw a few episodes here and there of Hoenn, maybe one or two of Diamond and Pearl, and then by the time they got to Black and White, I was just... The episode or two I did watch, I didn't like. I knew it wasn't for me. And I'm not the biggest fan of anime to begin with, because so much of it is just not appealing to me. Then, of course, there's, you know... There are some good ones, but... As far as like a medium of entertainment, it's not my favorite or my go-to. But it's charming if you want to ever check it out. I would recommend, but you have to remember, you know, it was kind of a you had to be there thing. Especially if you try to compare that original season to any of the other seasons. It's not, don't do that. You're wasting your time. But it was fun. Charmeleon. Our boy evolved into Charmeleon. Now we're really gonna give Team Rocket some trouble. I am planning to work on some stuff behind the scenes. We're in year 9 on my channel. We're in year 9 of me being a content creator and being perpetually online and doing this kind of thing. And I'm going to finish the year out doing things the way I always have. But when year 10 rolls around in November, I think I'm going to change my background, my cam frame, my channel logo. I think all of that's going to get like updated. And I think that maybe every 10 years is a good time to revisit your material and update it. I've already I kind of got it in my head already how I want some of the stuff to look. But we'll have to see. So many wild Pokemons. Rattata. We'll switch out the Pikachu. So many girl Pokemon on my team. I know you can buy a tract, the TM for a tract once we get to, I think, Celadon. I'm going to buy like 6 and teach it to all the girls on my team. Because the majority of Pokemon, I think, might be male in these games. Like, most NPCs have male Pokemon. So gonna muss them up. Sandshrew, Sandshrew. Let's bring out Sandshrew. Sandshrew. Sandshrew will do Charmeleon. And Metal Claw. which unfortunately did not do a lot. Really? You know what? I can do that too. Enough with the sand attack. You know what? 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 If you want to play this game, Omi can play this game too. Kinda wish I had more potions, but I'll have to make do. Wah 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 wah. I cannot have my accuracy lowered, you dick wahad. Not scratch. Scritches and scratches. Bitch. Why was that such a tough sand shrew? I'm steamed. Yeah, I would be too. I had a face that looked like that. Sorry, I got lost in thought and then distracted out the door. Door window. Window door. Reviving Pokemon from them. Oh, you're looking for fossils, eh? You know, I was looking into it the other day. I wanted to know what type of salt they used on pretzels and why it tasted and felt so different than like over the, you know, table salt. What Pokemon's he using? Okay. Apparently they use a special kind of salt that comes out of the mines somewhere in Texas. Basically it's old sea salt from millions of years ago from an ancient extinct ocean. And basically either it's layered naturally or they layer it, thin layers of salt on top of the other. So your little cube of salt is just like layer after layer of thin layers stacked together or something akin to that. I don't remember exactly what I read. So it doesn't break down and dissolve once it touches the heated, greasy pretzel bread. That was an interesting read when I looked it up. It definitely hits different. And I did not know that. I love learning little things like that. Bum, bum, bum. Bum. So many Geodude today. And not a single Clefairy. Let's fight this guy. You found 2 fossils and you're going to hog them both. Mr. High Waters here. He's trying to be a hog. No, at least he's paralyzed. Beep ba ba beep bo boo boo beep ba 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 beep beep ba ba la la. Coffee. Look at Charbillion. Wow. Not smog. It's not smog, it's smug. Coughing is the leading cause of smugness. Voltorb. I guess I just need to keep switching out with Magikarp and grinding it out that way. It's annoying, but it's important. The good thing is Magikarp evolves at level 20, which thank God it's not like 30 or 40. It could have easily been, but no. Let's see how easy it is to paralyze an electric type. Apparently it's quite easy. Apparently. Bop, boo, bop, beep, bop, boo, boo, boop. Beep 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 bop. Well, you really like charging your power, don't you? Womp womp. Ooh, double team. That'll be good to have until we get Flash. I like to teach Flash to Pikachu because it's double team raises my evasion, but Flash lowers their evasion. So Flash is good to have because it also lights up a cave at the same time. So it can do 2 things where double team just does the one. Let's see. No, I chose the Helix on green. We're going to go with Dome on red. That way I have both. You greedy bastard. I kind of want to hang around until we find Clefairy, but I don't know how quickly she's going to pop up. So we keep getting our Zubats. Endless array of Zubats. Cubit Zubat. Pokopia comes out tomorrow. So we'll probably be on that for a day or so. I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to be like. Working on working on Silver, Red, Pokopia. Got like 8 games in the fire. In the stokes in the fire. But we'll make do. We'll figure her out. We won't do this for a super long time. Whoops. So maybe Clefairy will show up in this little area. Come on, Clefairy. 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 Harris. Harris. There were so many catchy moments in that anime too, from the fairy to the Diglett dig, trio. So much catchy stuff. So much stuff that's baked into our heads 30 years later. We still remember. We still remember. It's a very 90s anime too. Nobody had cell phones yet, no internet. The fact that they didn't age up Ash, I did find very annoying. I know there's a million cartoons out there where they didn't age up the characters. The Simpsons, those characters have been the same age for 40 years. But it works for some things, like South Park. I don't think that show would work if the kids were grown up. I don't know. They've done a few episodes where they age them up. The same with The Simpsons. They do occasionally do a random episode where they age up the characters just for the story or the plot. But I really kind of wish Ash had aged as he went. And, because like, if I'm meant to believe that the Ash from episode 1 is the same Ash from the last episode of his story arc from like last year, it's not the same kid. Not the same kid. Not only has there been more than 365 days that have passed since he first left home. He's not 10 anymore. There's the issue of like the world is just vastly different. You know, we have the internet now. Everybody has a cell phone on them at all times. And in the Pokemon universe, they have Rotom phones, which bothers me a lot because how prevalent are Rotom in that world? Does everybody have a Rotom phone? Does every cell phone require a Rotom? I have many questions, many questions. Is a Rotom born just because of the smartphone exists? Like, does it, when they make the smartphone, does a Rotom come into existence? Are their smartphones predicated on Rotom's existence and willingness to come into them? I have so many questions about the Rotom phone. And in the anime, they showed that he's even in tablets and stuff too. You know, that's why I was saying that early anime was very 90s, because Ash would have to stop and make phone calls from the Pokemon Center on giant analog television, computer screens, and what have you. It was very 90s. And they never did retroactively show whether people like Ash's mother had cell phones or not, so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe everybody has regular cell phones, and then the Rotom phones are like specific to trainers. Because why else would you just call it a Rotom phone? If Rotom's on every phone, you would probably just say phone, right? So Rotom phone leads me to believe that it's a special phone that trainers use. And there's our Clefairy. I need you to be paralyzed. I would like to try and catch every Pokemon for every area and biome that we go into. Damn. It had to be a male Clefairy, didn't it? Do. Come on now. No. She's very taken with his charm. Its adorable appearance makes it popular as a pet. However, it is rare and difficult to find. We got there. It took a few minutes, but we found one. Oh yeah, the kicking and punching guys. Who is going to learn punch? Who should we teach? We'll teach Charmeleon how to mega punch. Growl. Now who's going to learn how to kick? Pikachu. We will eventually override these moves, but for now it'll be having them will be quite the hit. Now who should learn this? Nobody, I guess. Oh, I realize the value of it. I just don't have anybody that can learn it at the moment. Roar. So fighting Misty is going to be tough. We won't have Wartortle to rely on. We'll have Charmeleon. So what I'm thinking, goodness, is when we come back in next time, we'll head north, battle all the trainers on Nugget Bridge, then follow it up by battling all the trainers on the next route. Go to the Cape, see Bill, come back, do the gym after all of that. That will give us ample opportunity to level up Pikachu, so those Thunder Shocks are hitting more. That's my thought anyhow. All right, well, thank you guys for being here today. Continuing our celebration playthrough of FireRed for the 30th anniversary. I do intend to look at this game through every nook and cranny. We're going to try to fully explore everything that it has to offer. So look forward to that. Until then, come back next time as the journey continues. See you, folks.